Uh-oh. Look at that. Now the screen is full. I done muted myself as much as I like to talk. We are live. We are live now. Of course, I just started just a few minutes early because I was having technical difficulties. So I wanted to make sure we were good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Victoria Shoe Press's Author Spotlight. um and we have just conversations with new authors, past authors, want people who want to be authors, all of that good stuff. And so let me introduce myself. My name is Angie Mitchell, and I am the director of sales and marketing for Victoria Shoe Press. And yeah, so we're gonna get into it. We today, I'm so excited. Today we get to talk to Dr. Valerie A. Mills. She is an international best-selling author, and she is also one of my co-authors from an anthology. What has it been? 2 years now?
Yep,
Has it
yep,
been two
yep.
years?
2 years.
So, oh my goodness, yes, time
Fast.
flies when you are having fun. Dr. V, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Angie, I thank you so much for having me here today. It is such an awesome privilege and a pleasure to be here. So, what do you want to know?
Tell the
So,
people who is Dr. V. Tell the people what's up with Dr. V.
well, Dr. V is a down to earth, um, very petite, powerful little woman,
Yes,
who
ma'am.
just enjoys sharing the things that I've learned from education, life experiences, to better people's overall health and wellness, so that you can live optimally in that abundant life that we were promised to live. And so, um, that's just in a nutshell. That's I like being the sunshine, um, so people are able to get some energy, if that's the need. So that's me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So how did you get connected to Victoria Shoe Press? How did that happen?
Wow. I will have to say my sister, Myrna Love, who is
Mhm.
also a co-author with the anthology.
Yep.
I'm not really sure how she became involved with Miss Joan or Elder
Mhm.
Joan, but she impressed her so much, and then I she told me about her. She had the event in a September, I believe it was supposed that
Mhm.
COVID came. That's what it was.
Yep,
So
that's
my sister
exactly what happened.
introduced me to her. I believe my sister had been on her 30-day thing that she does in January.
Yes.
And my sister just felt compelled to introduce me to Elder Joan. And so I was introduced to Elder Joan, ended up participating in the event later in the year that was online, and ended up
Right.
in all of these little events that she had, and ended up being a co-author, the image in the mirror part one,
Right.
or edition one. And
Yes.
so just been doing things that way. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. And that's kind of how we all got,
hmm
at least myself, how we got connected to Joan through the 31-day devotional. Jesus, Joan, and Journal. So that's
yeah.
awesome and excellent. Excellent. So what was that experience like for you? The first tell us about like what is the name and kind of the backstory on your chapter in the image in the mirror.
um so my chapter is daughter, sister, friend, M.E. And so within that chapter I share the story of how um I just, through all of the things that I went through growing up, I just considered that mirroring excellence. So when I was an infant, I was diagnosed with severe eczema dermatitis at the age of 8 months. And so that chapter is kind of, that is the foundation of that chapter. So having had that experience, I share a little bit of insight on how people looked at me, physically looked at me, how people, peers, treated me because I didn't look the same as them, because
Mhm.
the severity of the eczema. Um, and so I share a little bit about that, and then I also share in there about my dad, in there, him passing away, and that little impact on my life, and wrap it up with talking about my grandmother and where I drew strength from. And
Mhm.
so, having had the event of the severe eczema, learning to actually resolve that issue as naturally as possible, because I went to doctors. The things that they recommended and prescribed maybe worked for a moment, but they weren't lasting. And I was told, my
Hmm.
parents told me that the statement was always made, "You're going to grow out of it. She'll grow out of it." I didn't grow out of it. It grew with me, followed me, and
Right.
even into my college years. So I had to learn. My background is in nursing originally. Um, so I had to learn how to support my body to get that resolved. And
Right.
so nursing school was going to be my solution to do that. However, it really wasn't. Nursing is a phenomenal profession. However, for what I was experiencing, what I was looking for, that wasn't the solution. I'm
Right.
still working in the area of nursing, along with my other entourage of things that I do. But one of the things that I will say about that chapter, there's a whole lot in there that's not really discussed. But the thing that I want people to know is that through having gone through the peer remarks and the negativity that
Right.
and all of the relational injuries, I will say, I
Okay.
learned to mirror excellence. And that's really what the me is: mirroring excellence, mirroring the character of Christ, irregardless or in spite of how people were responding to you, looking
Absolutely.
at you. And that was a great part of my healing journey, because even though eczema is a skin dis-ease, it
Right.
is really more so, if people take a look at it, it's an internal issue that has something has to be resolved on the inside. So that chapter was an experience for me to write. I've never considered myself to be a writer, and honestly, it was difficult to write just because I'm not a writer.
Right.
I'm a more expressive verbal type person
Right.
in the right area, because otherwise I'm good being home. I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah.
that chapter was me being a daughter, a friend, a sister, and just mirroring excellence through all of those challenging times,
Right.
with that foundation of having that severe eczema.
So for people who don't, first let me say hi to Myrna because she's in the comments. Let me say, hey Myrna. She said, hey ladies. So let me shout her out. As she said, Myrna is another of our co-authors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's her sister. It's
Yes.
Dr. D's sister. So for people who don't know what eczema is, could you just tell us a little bit about that? I know I've heard that it is a skin condition.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly.
yeah.
So, eczema dermatitis. So it is a dermatitis. It is an inflammatory skin expression, which is
Okay.
really an autoimmune issue. And as of, it's not been many years that they've categorized it as an autoimmune issue. And
Right.
when persons have eczema, there is generally a thickening of the skin. It's very itchy, and when you itch, you scratch. When you scratch, you rash. So it is
Right.
a skin issue that it just explodes itself when you scratch. So I remember as a young girl having to have my hands wrapped so that while I was asleep I wouldn't scratch, because I would wake up with blood because I scratched so much.
Mm.
But it is an intense itch that cannot really be described. And for me to get relief, I remember times when I would run my hand, or whatever part of my body was itching at the time, under the hottest water I could. I mean, like scalding water. And it is the grace of God that I
Mhm.
don't have those scars. Or the other thing that I would do is to turn on the eye of the stove and put my hands or my arms over it, just to have such
Mm.
an intense heat. Because that itch is more of a nerve thing, a nerve itch. And so, but it's an inflammatory issue of the skin. And it's many times an alert, along with it being autoimmune, meaning your
Yes.
body is turning on itself. It's also a type of an allergy or sensitivity to something. So having that, I also learned particular food sensitivities and food allergies that my body had, stemming from this autoimmune. So
Okay.
it's an intense skin issue, autoimmune.
Okay, yeah. I know, like I said, I've heard of it before. My youngest son had that, but I don't think he had the dermatitis, you know what I mean? So intense. He
Yeah.
would just get little patches, but not as intense as that. And yeah. I know, okay, so on Thursdays. right? I watch you on Thursdays. Tell us a little bit about that. Because I really
Wow.
do, I don't catch it all the time, but I do enjoy it when I do.
So on Thursdays, I do a Facebook Live. I actually call it Releasing Health. And I call it Releasing Health because, as I just shared, resolving the eczema was beyond a physical thing to do. I had to
Mhm.
learn that there were internal things that were going on that needed to be released. So whenever and I'll go back to that in a minute, but whenever there's a disease process going on, there's also an internal thing going on. But on Thursdays, right now it's been between 9:30 and 10. I'm actually doing a class right now
Okay.
to better my skills.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so but on Thursdays I do that Facebook Live, Releasing Health, with a various entourage of topics. I started out with sharing my story about eczema.
Right.
I've talked about herbs, I've talked about food, I've talked about men's health, I've talked about women's health. I'll do a
Yes.
spotlight on whatever the national health awareness is for the month. So it is a way for you to be able to get some education about
Hmm.
various health topics, natural. And one of the things that I enjoy doing is incorporating my nursing learning along
Okay.
with the natural health and the nutrition and the herbalism, but also connecting it with our spirits because we're spirit first.
Yes.
And so the reason it's called Releasing Health, like I said, is because for eczema, I learned that there were particular emotions
Hmm.
connected to that expression. And that gets into looking at your actual organs. And just a little bit on that, won't get really deep into it.
Oh, no,
But
yeah.
just like with eczema, it tends to be having some challenges with the liver and what it's to do. And
Okay.
so when it comes to an emotional level on a energetic Eastern medicine view, it is correlated with the emotion of anger. And
Mm.
so now that anger, because if you think about it, I was diagnosed with this at 8 months of age. And you're
Right.
thinking about what is an infant doing with anger, but you have to realize that things, I believe, let me preface that, I believe that when it comes to attitudes and, and emotions, those things can be transferred through generations. So
Right.
part of my journey of resolving the eczema was asking questions, going back through family history, asking things about people. And so it's not uncommon, but there were some anger things going on within some family ancestry. So
Hmm.
me being aware of that and learning how to deal with that, because I'd never considered myself to be an angry person,
Right.
but even dealing with that and confronting that really, in all honesty, was a great game changer in the resolution of eczema.
Yes.
So
And I can't see Dr. V angry ever. I can't see it.
if you do, there's a real problem.
I'm sure it has happened, but I just can't see that.
So
I can't
yeah.
see it. You know what? And I almost forgot, guys, that Dr. V was and I were also in the books to business or the intensive.
Yes.
I almost forgot that.
Yeah, we did
And
that
we
books to
did
business, and we did that oh, what was that conference called that we did? We where we had the
when
uh
we spoke at the conference.
yeah, we had those different Myrna, if you're on there, if you remember, tell us. That conference we did where
Oh
we
yes,
all had our
the
part.
summit. We did the
Yes, the
empowerment
summit.
summit.
Yeah, the
Yes.
empowerment summit. Yeah, so we also did that as part of that books to business.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
How can I forget about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. My sister just got me involved in all kinds of things with Elder Joan and this
Yes,
Victorious You
ma'am.
Publishing, Victorious You Press, and just meeting all these wonderful people such as yourself.
I know, right? I know just a little bit about how was that experience because we had a good time with that, with the intensive. How was that for you?
I really thought that was a powerful intensive, and it was so well connected, it flowed so well. And
Right.
I know a lot of people were ministered to, and a lot of people experienced some breakthroughs during that time. But
Yeah.
working with women that we had not met
Yeah. Yeah.
until later on, that was just so powerful to feel that energy and that connection and that love. And I think it was so powerful that we were all really reflecting the image in the mirror. We were reflecting the
Absolutely.
image that the creator allowed us to be as individual, but then coming together as a unit. It was so powerful. Um, and it was just a great
It was.
opportunity to
It
work
was.
with so many women, to get that accomplished.
I agree. I agree. It was definitely, oh man, that was a great experience. And we have built, so many of us have built relationships, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and lifelong friendships, you know what I mean, outside of the anthology and outside of the boot camp, not boot camp, because I think the boot camp is what's happening now because we're
Okay.
on our third year of that. So that's what's going on right now. But ours was the intensive. Ours was
Yes.
the limitless lifestyle intensive. And so, yeah, I've connected with so many people, and man, everyone I'm kind of still connected with. Not everyone, but for the most part, you know what I mean. Beautiful relationships. Yes, women can work together
Yes.
harmoniously and grow in love, and that's exactly what we did. So, all of the stuff you telling me and about sounds like to me another book. That's what it
Ah,
sounds like to me. A solo project. I
it
can
is
see
it
that.
is it is very possible, and I have considered that,
Hmm.
for some other things that the Lord has been impressing upon me, because really in the image in the mirror, even though people are aware that I am in the health field,
Right.
it wasn't so much about that. It was more of my spiritual journey. However, I would like to develop more about the eczema, and to really to have people understand that a bit more, and how to let's see, to work with it or resolve it on a
Right.
natural way. And then
Right.
also the piece in there about my dad, the powerful relationship that we had, and the power of having a father presence in your life. And then there's the part about my grandmother, who is so inspiring. She was so inspirational to me. I think that's where I
Right.
got my green thumbs from, and like to be out in the raised bed growing things, and just the strength. And there's a part in that chapter where I share about seeing my grandmother. Um,
Mhm.
it even until she couldn't do it anymore, really, she would literally get down on her knees and pray.
Yeah.
She would get out of that bed, and she would get down on her knees, and she would pray. I remember hearing her pray about all of her children, the
Mhm.
neighbors. She was just praying and just reading the scriptures. And my grandmother was so inspirational to me. She taught herself to read. She used to do her own sewing. She had this
Yes.
one outfit that she made. It was a dress. I used to call it
Okay.
a curtain. It just looked like a curtain to me. I'm like, come on now. Um, but she had a knack for creating her own patterns. Just get a piece of
Yeah.
paper and cut stuff out and sew stuff. So it would be something that I have. It is something that I've considered about having a solo project, to pull
Mhm.
that chapter out and just break it down,
Yeah.
and do that. And really, that might be sooner rather than later to really decide if that's something, because with my Facebook Live being releasing health,
Mhm.
and with the direction that I am being led to go, is to really develop that releasing health, releasing
Yeah.
you, and reclaiming your life. Because
Yeah.
we, in order for us to really be healthy and fulfill our purpose here, we got to release some stuff, and most of it is internal. I am
Mhm.
all about coaching and helping people to optimize their health and create habits for health that allow them to be well. But I want people to be well from the inside out. And
Right.
many times, in my perception, my observation, that there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of doctors in their respective places. And mind you, I am not a medical doctor.
Mhm.
Um, I have doctor of natural health and pastoral science and medicine. However, the focus tends to be on the physical, when many things that our body expresses on a physical note are originating from a spiritual, a blockage,
Mhm.
or something that's being suppressed.
Right.
Not that anybody is possessed or anything. I don't want anybody
Mhm.
to twist my words, but there are just some things. And like I said, for me, learning the emotional facets of the expression of eczema, going back and seeing what was in the family, it is important to have an understanding of family history as much as you can, because that'll give
Mhm.
you some light on some of your expressions that you don't understand. So, releasing health, releasing you, and being able to reclaim your life and live optimally in your purpose. So, those are some of the things that I am being led to do.
Hmm.
So, however he unfolds that, then
Yeah.
that's what will be done.
You know you just said the title of your book, right?
Yeah,
Releasing
I do
health,
know that.
releasing
I do
you.
know that. I do know that. So nobody can have it. It's here today, December the 9th, about 12:19 on my clock. It came
Yes,
out of my mouth.
ma'am.
You cannot have it. It is already sealed. It is sealed here and it is sealed in heaven. So don't try it.
Yes,
Don't
and
try
it
it.
is so, man. It is
So
so. So, doctor, so what do you have on the horizon? I know you said maybe, on the book and continuing with your releasing health series, but what else do you have on the horizon?
well,
Horizon, not
on my horizon, on a more local note, I am currently, as I've been sharing on my Facebook Lives, I am right now in a class. The class that I am taking is to become a certified expert wellness coach. That's what it's called.
horizon.
Because my goal after that is I have to do this course because I am preparing to sit for the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. And I
Wow.
know people's like, why are you doing something that's now? You got all of these letters behind your name. One, those letters behind my name is that it's just a demonstration of my journey to learn how to nourish my total being, my physical body,
Mhm.
my mental body, my spiritual body, my whole being, and not for any accolades or anything. But I know in the field of health, there are a lot of things that people are not getting resolution with. And so,
Mhm.
with this opportunity and preparation to become nationally certified, I will have the opportunity to be more available for conventional medical practitioners
Right.
to help clients with things that they cannot, or they call them patients. Clients in my natural health world is patients in the
Right.
traditional, conventional. And so there are just some things that are not able to be given attention to in a conventional setting. And
Right.
so I am increasing my independent contracting with doctors and other practitioners to help with that piece, the more lifestyle things, the non-medical things.
Right.
So that's what's on the horizon, and it's just positioning myself for that to explode
Mhm.
and to be able to serve people where they need to be served when it comes to their overall health and well-being.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your book. I'm looking forward to your workshop. I'm just throwing that out there. Uh,
Definitely, definitely. Oh, there is some workshop in the midst. So yeah.
I can't wait. So tell the people how to get in touch with you. How do
So
they
right
find you?
right now the best place to find me is on Facebook, using the message to do that. You can find me at info at drvaleriamills.com. My website is in transition, so info at drvaleriamills.com, or shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm a little bit on Instagram. I am working to be better at social media, so bear with
Hmm.
me. But info at drvaleriamills.com or Facebook is where you can find me. And most definitely shoot me a comment and let me know if there's a particular topic you would like for me to share about on
Yeah.
Facebook Live. I am also in the process of
Okay.
populating my YouTube channel,
Oh
and
yeah.
so
Yeah.
making that available. So definitely let me know anything that you would like to have more information about, and we will go from there.
And work it out. Work it out. I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it. Dr. V, it has been a pleasure. I dropped dropped it in the chat, but you said the info
Uh-huh.
at drvaleriemills.com. Get in touch with my girl, get your health together because I'm gonna get in touch with her too. I got some things to get into and some business to take care of. But again, it has been awesome. I'm glad that you joined us, and I'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Angie.
Thank you, doll. Love you.
Love you
Bye
too.
bye. So there we have it. There we have it. Another edition of Author Spotlight with Angie. Man, Dr. V is amazing. Again, find her info in the chat. Go follow her. Check her out. She is amazing. And that's it, y'all. That's all I got for this week. So I'm glad you joined us. We will be back again, or I will be back again next week for another edition of Author Spotlight. So, y'all, peace and blessings.